You will be shocked when you learn about the photographs that destroyed people's lives. Today, I will tell you about the most amazing shots, their stories, the fates of the people captured in them, and why these photographs changed their lives forever. We will dive into a world where a single click of the camera shutter can turn everything upside down. And at the end of the video, you will learn how memes destroy people's lives. Get ready, it will be interesting. Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci and Vincenzo Peruggia. Let's start with the story of the famous painting Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, and a man named Vincenzo Peruggia. In 1911, Peruggia, an Italian immigrant working at the Louvre, stole this legendary painting. His motive was the belief that the Mona Lisa should return to its homeland in Italy. How such a thing could have entered anyone's mind remains a mystery to me. When the theft was discovered, photographs of the empty wall in the Louvre and wanted images of Vincenzo Peruggia spread around the world. 2 years later, Peruggia attempted to sell the painting in Florence, where he was arrested. His photograph with handcuffs became a symbol of a daring crime. As a result, he became known as a thief, and his life changed forever. After serving his prison sentence, he was unable to find work and lived in poverty. The photograph of the crime and arrest destroyed his reputation and future, turning him from a simple worker into a criminal in the eyes of the world. This is yet another fact confirming that one should not engage in illegal activities. While everyone once knew about Peruggia J from the photographs, today your records will certainly show that you committed a crime. The Girl in the Tank and Hugh Thompson. The next story is related to the photograph of the girl in the tank and helicopter pilot Hugh Thompson during the Vietnam War. In 1968, Thompson witnessed the mass killings of civilians in the village of My Lai. He tried to stop the massacre by ordering his soldiers to aim their weapons at the American troops to protect the civilians. Honestly, I am shocked that someone could have the courage to go against the system and an entire state. And, unfortunately, such horrifying things happen constantly in war. The photographs and Thompson's testimonies about the events became public knowledge. Instead of being recognized as a hero, he faced condemnation and threats from many Americans who considered him a traitor. His life turned into a nightmare. He suffered from depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and alcohol addiction. Only decades later were his actions recognized as heroic. But the photograph and the consequences of the events forever changed his fate, forcing him to endure years of suffering and misunderstanding. One can only hope that the years of oppression did not affect him too much and that he was able to recover from such horrifying things. The Falling Man and Richard Drew. On September 11, 2001, photographer Richard Drew took a picture of a man falling from the World Trade Center. This photograph, known as Falling Man, became one of the most controversial and emotionally heavy images of that day. I have goosebumps from this photograph, realizing how terrible those events were. The family and friends of the alleged victim were deeply shocked by the publication of this photograph. The photograph sparked public debate about the boundaries of ethics in journalism and respect for victims. Richard Drew's life also changed. He faced criticism, threats, and even hatred, although he was nearly doing his job. This photograph has become a symbol of tragedy and still evokes strong emotions, prompting reflection on humanity and moral standards in the media. What do you think? Is it possible to publish such photographs to the masses? Share your opinion in the comments. The Girl with Napalm and Kim Phuc. One of the most famous photographs of the Vietnam War is the image of a girl running, burned after a napalm attack. Photographer Nick Ut captured the moment when 9-year-old Kim Phuc was running down the road, screaming in pain and fear. It's a horrifying photo that I can't show you completely due to censorship, but I think you understand how terrifying these images are. This photograph has traveled around the world and became a symbol of the horrors of war, influencing public opinion and sparking a wave of protests. Kim Phuc's life changed forever. She underwent 17 surgeries and suffered from physical pain and psychological trauma for many years. Her image became an icon, but she herself had to struggle with the consequences of that tragedy her entire life. She faced media attention, political pressure, and was used as a propaganda tool. Only years later was she able to find peace and became a UN Goodwill Ambassador, sharing her story and advocating for peace. Personally, I am very glad that the use of napalm for military purposes has been banned in our world. After all, this is perhaps the most terrifying weapon of all that humanity has ever created. Portrait of the Afghan girl in Sharbat Gula. In 1984, photographer Steve McCurry took a picture of a young Afghan girl with bright green eyes in a refugee camp in Pakistan. The photograph was published on the cover of National Geographic and became world famous, symbolizing the suffering of refugees. I think literally everyone has seen this photo, as it has spread far beyond ordinary magazines. However, the life of Sharbat Gula, the girl in the photograph, was far from glamorous. She continued to live in poverty, unaware of her fame. When her identity was revealed 17 years later, she faced problems due to a violation of passport regulations and was arrested by the Pakistani authorities. Media attention led to interference in her personal life, a violation of privacy, and brought more problems than help. Her family faced persecution, and she was forced to return to Afghanistan, where she encountered new difficulties. I am very sorry that this girl was unable to gain popularity and wealth because of her appearance. Right now, horrifying things are happening in Afghanistan. It is quite possible that this girl is no longer alive. Fearless Girl and Kristen Visbal. Sculpture. The fearless girl, installed opposite the famous bull on Wall Street, has become a symbol of feminism and equality. The author of the sculpture, artist Kristen Visbal, initially gained recognition for her work. You might ask, what do sculptures have to do with it when all my video is about photographs? And it was all because of what happened next. The fact is that the photographs and sculptures spread around the world, and Visbal faced legal issues. The investment company that commissioned the sculpture limited its rights to reproduce and sell copies. Legal battles and negative media attention adversely affected her career and personal life, despite her initial success. She found herself at the center of disputes over copyright and the commercialization of art, which damaged her reputation and financial standing. Who knows what happened to this wonderful sculptor? It is quite likely that she had to live in poverty, even though she could have easily become a millionaire. Jason Russell and Coney 2012. What do I have next on the list? Oh yes, in 2012. The organization Invisible Children released a video Coney, calling for the arrest of Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony. The video went viral, and the photograph by Jason Russell, co-founder of the organization, spread around the world. So what's wrong with that, you may ask? After some time, Russell experienced a nervous breakdown on the street, which was captured on video and widely circulated in the media. His personal life and career. They were destroyed because of this incident. The photograph and video became symbols of his downfall, raising doubts about his motives and mental health. Public opinion quickly changed, and he became the target of mockery and criticism, which negatively affected his organization and personal life. This is how you can ruin your career in just a couple of minutes. All it took was for him to keep himself in check. Brooke Shields and the controversial photo session. Well, we continue. In 1980, photographer Harry Gross published photographs of 10-year-old actress Brooke Shields, which caused a wide public outcry due to their explicitness. The photographs were deemed inappropriate, and legal proceedings began regarding child protection rights and ethics in photography. And as you may have already understood, I cannot fully show you these images. Otherwise, my channel could be blocked. Brooke Shields, despite her successful career, has faced negative attention and criticism. The photo session had a lasting impact on her personal life and career, raising questions about child exploitation in the entertainment industry. She had to struggle with the psychological consequences and stereotypes that haunted her for many years. This incident raised important questions about the boundaries of art and the protection of children in media. And what do you think? Where has all this led us in our time? Unfortunately, the situation hasn't changed much. Right now, a bunch of popular and well-known children working in the entertainment industry are publishing completely inappropriate content. This is gaining huge momentum due to public resonance, but I think you understand that such videos and photos can affect the psychological state of those very children. Eddie Adams and the execution in Saigon. In 1968, photographer Eddie Adams captured the moment of the execution of a suspect by Police Chief Nguyen Ngoc Loan in South Vietnam. This photograph became yet another symbol of the brutality of war and sparked a wave of outrage around the world. And what do you think this led to? That's right, someone got what they deserved. The life of General Nguyen Ngoc Loan was shattered. After the fall of Saigon, he emigrated to the USA, where he faced hatred and condemnation. His business failed due to public pressure, and he lived in poverty. Photographer Eddie Adams later regretted the consequences of his photograph for Loan's life, acknowledging that one shot cannot reflect the full complexity of the situation. He said, "Two lives are ruined by one photograph." And overall, I completely understand his position. After all, just one moment in the press of a button changed this man's life, and he is the one to blame. However, I will not justify this police chief, as he acted quite cruelly. Selfies. Against the backdrop of tragedy in the modern world, social media plays a huge role. Many people take selfies without thinking about the context. There have been instances where people took photographs against the backdrop of tragedies, accidents, or memorials, causing public outrage. Surely, you also take your phone in hand and turn on the camera when something unusual happens outside. Such photographs led to firings, public condemnation, and damage to reputation. People have lost their jobs, friends, and respect because of one thoughtless photo that spread on the internet. There are really many similar examples. Unfortunately, I can't tell you about all of them. I won't provide specific examples either, as there have already been plenty in one of the previous videos. For instance, the main characters from the movie Twilight, or if we take photographs from the party of Russian star Anastasia Ivleeva. Due to images of a half-naked girl and other celebrities, many administrative cases were initiated. This literally led to the downfall of many of their careers. And someone even ended up behind bars. Here, I would like to point out another aspect. Photographs taken by paparazzi often invade the personal space of celebrities. Incidents related to harassment lead to stress and anxiety for public figures. A notable example is Princess Diana, whose death in a car accident is largely associated with a paparazzi chase. Constant attention and invasion of privacy can destroy the relationships, careers, and mental well-being of stars. Some of them were forced to leave their careers or leave the country to avoid constant attention. Photographs on social media and their consequences. By the way, not only celebrities but also ordinary people suffer from thoughtless photographs. Posting compromising images on social media can lead to serious consequences. Dismissal, legal proceedings, cyberbullying. For example, a teacher lost her job after posting a swimsuit photo that the school administration considered inappropriate. Young people face bullying due to the sharing of personal photographs without their consent, which can lead to psychological problems and even tragic consequences. But personally, I believe that such content should not be banned from being published by anyone. A regular swimsuit is not harmful, as this photo is non-erotic in nature. Unfortunately, in our time, many parents consider themselves more right, and in their worldview, the publication of such images is compared almost to prostitution. How do you feel about such situations? Internet memes and unintended fame. But what strikes me the most is the following story. Sometimes photographs become internet memes without the consent of the people depicted in them. This can lead to unwanted fame and negative consequences. I think you can all recall similar characters. Personally, I always think of Harold, who hides his pain. Although, this grandfather, having gained his popularity, took full advantage of it. Right now, he is making a lot of money from participating in advertisements, but there are also less interesting in-kind stories. Kyle Cramp became known as the Bad Luck Brian after his school photo turned into a popular meme. Although it was funny at first, Kyle faced mockery and unwanted attention, which affected his personal life and self-esteem. He could not control the spread of his image and became a hostage of internet culture. The reason for this is his funny appearance in the photograph. as he looks extremely foolish here. I think you've already seen this meme and any of its adaptations, but guy actually developed real psychological issues because of it. In general, be careful when posting similar photos. Today, we examined the stories of photographs that have destroyed people's lives. These examples show how powerful a tool photography can be and what consequences it can have for individuals. In just a couple of moments, the whole world can turn upside down, but what strikes me personally is the fact that some photos taken by professionals have destroyed their own lives. Do you know where else professionals are needed? In our team. Friends, you have the opportunity to join us. If you have video editing skills, you can voice videos in Russian, English, and other languages. Or you can write interesting scripts. We will be happy to work with you. Please write to the Telegram bot. The link is in the description, and thank you for your attention.